What's up guys and welcome back to the channel. Now you may or may not know, but I shoot all of my content with my trusty iPhone. And I've just received a care package from the guys over at Zeniko, which is hopefully going to take my content creation to the next level. This is the MR11 smartphone video rig. We've got a couple of attachments here which is going to make this a fantastic all-in-one rig to elevate your content creation. So let's take a look at everything that this has to offer. So first up we'll look at the MR11 video rig itself and check this thing out. So of course we can see it's got the dual handles here, so you can able to hold it like this to obviously increase your stabilization when shooting video. You can also see on top here that we have 3 holes for various attachments. This is obviously a slightly bigger hole compared to the other 2. And you have the slots in here where you're able to use various attachments also. There's another hole at the side here, and again some more of the screw slots at the bottom, so you can mount this on top of a tripod. You've got the slot in here where you're able to attach a lanyard, so maybe you could have that around your wrist in case you was to drop it. And then down here is actually where you charge. You've got a USB Type C and a USB Type A in there. This actually has a battery inside the device, so you are actually able to charge your phones via cable, or in here is actually a MagSafe compatible charger. So if we go ahead and just turn the device on here, you instantly see the desk below light up, and that's because there's a built-in LED light at the front of the rig. Obviously it washes out quite a little bit on camera, but it's very bright and it does light up stuff pretty well, as you can see me moving it about on the desk. Now down here we have some options for the brightness levels, so you can dim it, or again you can increase it and put it to its max settings, which is pretty bright. Here we have a button for the mode, so you're able to change the temperature of the light, so you can go for more of a yellow look, or of course you can increase that to have that bright white look. Next to that we actually have the button battery. Now this is what allows us to do MagSafe charging. So if I just grab my iPhone in here, so the mount is spring loaded, you open it up and you slot your phone right in. So if we just slot that into there, you'll actually see it begins charging. Now that's because this back plate is MagSafe compatible. So turning that off, you'll see that the charging indicator has gone off. We turn that back on, you will see it will then begin to charge. So the mounting options for your phone, you can actually shoot landscape or portrait, and there is some adjustability with being able to move the mount up or down, so you're able to make sure that the camera is clearly visible when moving the mount up or down. The next pretty cool feature about this here is an actual Bluetooth remote device, which works for up to 30 meters away. So if you're on your own and you want to mount this on a tripod somewhere, you can take this with you, click of a button, you can then begin recording. And that simply slots back into the device, just like that. So we were also sent out a couple of accessories that obviously work with the rig itself, making use of the little ports available up here to slide them in. So first up, we were sent out the VS5R RGB Light. So if we take a look at the box here, you can see that it's a compact light body, magnetic back design, there's different modes and Bluetooth control. So taking a look at the light itself, this is like a silicone case which can actually come off if you want, but it does help to diffuse the light, so we'll just keep that on. At the back here, there is a little stand. This, of course, is just screwed on, so if you don't want this little slot on, you can unscrew that and then you're able to have that standing like so, or sitting however way that you want. If you're shooting a product, you could have this sitting like that, facing up at it. But of course, if you want to use it with your rig, then you're going to want to use this adapter, which just simply screws on, and now you're able to slot that onto your rig. On the top here are the controls. You have the power on button, a mode button, and then a plus and minus for toggling brightness. So if we just turn this on here, you can see there's a mini LED screen on here, which we're able to see the temperature, the battery percentage, and of course the light percentage there as we reduce this or increase the brightness. So this is an RGB light, which means it does have multiple colors. Now there is an app that you can use which has various different effects, which like this is the police siren effect, blue and red flashing lights. As you can see, the light is a little bit diffused on camera, but it's quite good if you can see inside my hand like that. So toggling the mode button will simply toggle through these, and you're able to have full control on the app itself with that. Very bright light. For what it is, for something that's so small, it's very, very bright. And the back is actually magnetic, so you can actually attach this to metal surfaces and it will just simply stick onto the back. So whilst we do get an LED light at the front of this, which obviously is pretty handy for shooting content, it is nice to have an additional lighting source, which also you have those effects if you wanted to play around with different colors for certain different videos. You could use that, simply slot that in there like that, and then you've got an additional light, which is brilliant. The next accessory that we were sent out is actually a microphone. So if we just take a look at the box here again, we can see that there's a low cut function. You've got the choice between mono and stereo mode, and there's adjustable gain levels. So there's two mics on the top, and they are horizontally 180 degrees rotatable. Low cut function filters noise below 150 Hertz, as we just mentioned. Two soundtrack modes, mono and stereo, again we just mentioned. Integrated design of shock absorbing bracket, which we'll see in a minute is quite flexible, which is decent. A 1/4-inch universal cold shoe port is mountable on most cameras and smartphones. So you do get a little carry case, which is always nice for things like this. And opening up the carry case, you are provided with a few cables to obviously get this up and running. I'll just go ahead and show you the cables there. You get the 3.5mm to 3.5mm TRX cable, or whatever it's called, which basically allows you to record from your phone. One's in, one is out. There is a USB-C to USB-A charging cable, 3.5mm to 3.5mm, which isn't an in and out, I believe. That's just direct line. Then you are also provided with a couple of windbreakers should you choose to use them. And then the microphone itself is simply slotted in the case like so. We'll just pull that out there, and here is the microphone. So you see that there's some various ports available. You've got the out, you've got the charging port there. On here, you've got your gain, so you can reduce or increase, headphone slot, and then on the back here again, you can choose between turning it off, direct line, stereo, or mono. Now, these are the microphones actually on top here, and these are rotatable, as it said in the instructions. So they're rotatable to up to 180 degrees, so you can face them whichever way you choose, depending on whichever way your target is and wherever the sound is coming from that you want to pick up, whilst this is mounted onto your rig. Now, if you use an iPhone like myself, you'll need to pick up an additional cable, which is either the Lightning or USB-C with the 3.5mm, should you choose to use this with your phone and if it's an iPhone, because the 3.5mm obviously doesn't work because we don't have a headphone jack on the iPhones anymore. Okay guys, so I was just editing this video that you're now watching and realised I didn't include a clip of the microphone. So this is that clip. I have the microphone facing me, I have the iPhone on the rig, and I'm talking towards the microphone. Let's see how this thing sounds. So as you've seen, everything is super simple and easy to get set up. It just simply slots in like so, and then you simply tighten it up so it sits on there nice and sturdy. So the microphone does actually sit on a spring, which means it can actually be moved around, and I guess would help with sound dampening as it sort of flexes. Again, if you take your light, that simply slots on the same way. Just simply screw these on. So once screwed on, you've got your two attachments attached to your rig. Now it's just a case of simply getting your phone and slotting it into the mount. Now the phone that I'm using here is the 14 Pro Max. So this is the bigger model of the iPhone, but there is still enough room, as you can see, for your fingers inside. There is, however, a lot less room as soon as you decide to plug the microphone in. Obviously, you've got the cable now coming out, going into the microphone. But again, it doesn't really limit you. You're still able to hold it with both hands and not really have any real issues. So once you've got it all together, you're now left with this, an all-in-one phone video rig. The Bluetooth button is actually connected to my other phone, so that won't turn this phone on or off right now. It'll actually stop the recording on my other phone. But at this point, you're now ready to begin shooting any way that you seem fit. Now, there's no gimbal involved. This is all just about the steadiness of your hands. If you're not going to be that steady, then your footage isn't going to be steady either. But being able to use both of your hands with the handles and having dual control over your phone is going to allow you to shoot more stable video. You can get more attachments than just the ones that we have here in this video, should you choose to use them. Having the attachments on top of your rig certainly does add some weight to it, but again, it's nicely distributed because of the dual handles, meaning that you are going to have more control over your footage. Now finally, the last product I was actually sent out by Zeniko is their multi-use inflatable tube lights. These are literally, as the package suggests, they're portable and inflatable tube lights. There's 5 adjustable colour temperatures, 10 adjustable brightness levels, and a magnetic back design. I have already opened these, but they are back inside the package, so we'll just open it up to see exactly what you get inside. Now this is of course a pump, and this is how you're going to pump and deflate your tube light. And this is the tube light itself. Now this is obviously deflated at this point, so it's able to be portable and rolled up any which way you like. Now to pump it up, it is as simple as laying it down flat, opening this clip here which will expose the valve. You take your pump, obviously there's two different sides, you take this side, slot it in like so, and simply begin pumping. And in no time at all, the light is now fully inflated. Now, if you look closely at the back here, there are a couple of magnets, which is how this is able to be stuck magnetically to a metal surface. Now, it is a USB-A connection, so be mindful of that, but I'm going to plug it in and we'll take a look at how bright this thing is. Okay, the light is now plugged in, and these are the controls in which you control your tube light. So we've got a plus and minus button, an on or off switch, and then of course a color switch. I'm just going to go ahead and turn these on now, and then you can see it's one click and it literally lights up. You're able to change the color, which changes the temperature of the light, and then of course the brightness of the light itself. Now, I'm no photographer or videographer for that matter, but you can clearly see what these tube lights would be handy for. The fact that these are inflatable means that they're portable and you can use these on the go. You could easily put these inside your backpack and then perhaps bring a power bank to charge them. And this is exactly the use case for them, being able to light up some sort of product that you're shooting. It's now at this point you'd be able to pick up your rig and begin filming with your additional lighting sources. So guys, that was a look at the MR11 smartphone video rig and some of the attachments that we were sent out. Now, for any content creators out there like myself who use their iPhone, would you consider using a rig like this to help shoot your videos? Anyway, that will do it for this one. I hope that you enjoyed the video, and if you've got any further questions, leave them down below in the comments and I'll be sure to get back to you. And as always, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you soon.